Okay, so now we shall try to understand these things today. So I think most of the part I have tried to complete yesterday itself. So we have tried to understand the cloud computing concepts. And before this, I would like to say that please start making notes from today. Okay, so please make notes. Yesterday I've shared notes, so that won't happen again. So please, while listening to the class, I request all of you guys to have a book beside you, and whichever important things which we discuss, please try to note it down. Okay, so make that a habit. So throughout our workshop, so what I do suggest is, when the class is happening, please keep a book aside you and please make notes. Okay, that will play a very prominent role, because whenever you want to recollect the things what we have done in our class, that will help you a lot. Okay, so please maintain notes. Okay, right. So coming back, so this today's class will be divided into 4 parts. So most probably we'll finish this by today's afternoon. Then after this session, we'll try to create our AWS account in our afternoon session. Okay, so this 4 are very important. So mostly this cloud computing part I'll skip it fast, because we got a strong foundation yesterday. And 6 advantages of cloud computing. So yesterday we were just trying to understand from scratch, but today we'll try to learn the technical aspects, because when you attend interviews, so you need to answer them in a very technical way, right? So that what are the main technical aspects of cloud computing, or we can say advantages. So that we will discuss in detail. And then after we'll try to start with AWS. So we try to understand what exactly it is AWS, so what AWS is doing, so what we do inside AWS. And mainly we understand the subscriptions, and we'll try to understand services, what kind of services provided by AWS, we understand that. And we'll try to understand about billing, so how the billing will be done. And what are all types of accounts which we create on AWS. So there will be multiple accounts, so we'll try to understand each and every account, like how we use and what is the role of particular account, how many types of accounts will be there, so who will handle which account. So that we'll try to understand. Then we'll understand a very important thing is the cloud adoption framework, right? So everybody is not everybody cannot directly get into the AWS and start working, right? So so while shifting our project to the cloud, or if you are deploying your project to the cloud, so what are all the necessary steps we need to take care of, so that we'll try to understand. Okay, so this will happen in a very good and very good sequential manner. So this will give you a very good thing to understand the AWS concept in a very good manner. Okay, so getting inside. So what we are doing here is discuss key points related to cloud computing and the advantages of cloud computing. Okay, so we'll just try to deep dive into this. I think we have covered this first one, define different types of cloud computing. This we have done yesterday. Describe 6 advantages of cloud computing. So this is very important, as I told, the technical aspects. So the technical advantages of cloud computing we will be covering. And cloud deployment models, I think we already heard about this cloud deployment models yesterday. So we have found out public, private, and hybrid. So these 3 models. So the discussion has been happened yesterday. And review the AWS cloud adoption framework. So what are the necessary things, necessary steps we need to be taking care of while adopting or shifting or deploying our project to the cloud. Okay, so that will try to understand. Yeah, some students want to join. Okay, so I'll just verify them. Okay, done. Right. So please kindly join before 10 15 a.m. Okay, so that will help, because this will be slightly a disturbance in between our class. Right. So what is cloud computing? So this, I think, this will give you another example of trying to understand this cloud computing better. So here you can see one, two, three, four. Four buildings are there. So in these four buildings, and each, for example, what we can understand is, sorry, there is no undo button here. Right. So basically, we can just assume it as a huge network. So one network, one building, two buildings, three buildings, and four buildings. So all these are connected through a single means of communication. So that we call it as cloud. So this cloud is making it easier to share or transfer data between each other. So you can see, for example, if you try to understand in a much better way. Sorry, where is the scroll bar? Sorry. So here you can see there is a common point of contact to all these buildings. For example, you consider this as one organization, organization 1, organization 2, organization 3, and organization 4. For example, this one, I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are four organizations, or we can say four companies. These four companies are located at different places, right? So for example, I want to send, sorry, where is this cursor is suddenly getting disappeared? Right, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so here you can see the cloud is acting as a medium for the exchange of information, or for the communication or transferring of data between these four buildings. Here you can see, for example, if one want to send the files to four, so as you can see, the cloud is acting as a medium for exchange of the information. So what you can do is, the one will send the information to the cloud, and from the cloud, that will be passing to our fourth building. So similarly, if four wants to send information through from here, so the information will be directly coming to the cloud, and from the cloud, that will be passed to the building. Similarly, what is happening here is, everybody who want to communicate with each other, so even any type of communication between 1, 2, 3, or 4, so between, you can say 1, 2, or 1, 3, or 1, 4, or 2, 1, 2, 3, or 2, 4. So whatever might be the communication, so everything is happening through the cloud. So that will be acting as a medium of communication for each and everyone. So you can say, sir, what is this, what we generally communicate? So basically, whatever things, for example, uh, you are using email. So email, it doesn't, what we say, for example, I want to send an email to for example, I will send one email to your college. So what happens is the email won't directly I can't directly send an email to your college. So what happens is first that email will be sent to the cloud, and the cloud will redirect the particular email to the to your college. Similarly, if your college want to communicate to me to send an email, so college will first it will write an email and send it the email. The email will be sent to the cloud, and the cloud will be redirecting that email to me. Okay, so this concept is very easy to understand, but the thing is, in technical, how it basically happened, it will be involved with so many networks, and I can say so many IP addresses and so many things, so that we will go in detail while working. Okay, so this is just to make you understand how exactly it happens. So the basic we can say, right? So the backend, so what will happen in the background, so that structure we have tried to understand here. So as you can see, cloud computing is on demand delivery of computer power, databases, storages, applications, and other IT resources through a cloud service platform via the internet with pay as you go service. And please kindly remember this point, pay as you go service, right? So here we need to remember this thing. So all the cloud computing models will be based on this pay as you go service. Okay, so remember this point. I'll again remind you in the further class. So where this is exactly applicable, right? So right now you understood that cloud computing model is an on-demand delivery of computer power. We can exchange. Sorry, what is the problem? Guys, is my voice clear now?
Yes, sir.
Someone saying that it is having disturbances. Okay, please let me know, or put a message. Whoever face any issues, please put it in the chat box. Okay, I'll try to guide. So who is this? Is my voice clear now, madam? Sir, your voice is breaking. I can't see the number. Okay. So so simply you can understand that you will be exchanging computer power, databases, applications, and other IT resources through a cloud service platform. And we all know that the network is global. So the cloud computing doesn't mean that it will be working only within your local network. No, so it happens throughout the internet. As you know, this www is nothing but geographical area network. That means you can share this cloud computing concept throughout the world. For example, if you are putting some resource, for example, I will say, if you want to put some resource like a video, if you are putting on the internet, it doesn't mean that only you or within your radius around 50 kilometers radius, or within your city, or within your state is visible. So once you put your files onto the internet, so that will be visible to everyone. That means throughout the globe everybody will be able to access that. So that means keep in mind that whenever you are working on cloud computing, the reach is global. That means everybody who got connected with the internet. So yesterday we have discussed that huge network which we are calling as www. So World Wide Web. So this cloud computing has that immense application or immense possibility of putting your file throughout the globe. And this service is not free. So everything which you access over the internet is not free. So you need to pay. So that means it will be working on pay as you go model. So yesterday we have discussed as IaaS, right? Infrastructure as a service. So we have discussed that it will happen. We are taking 900 servers for 2 days rent. So that means you need to pay for the 2 days. So which is nothing but pay as you go service. So what you can understand is everything which is running over the internet is based on working with pay as you go pricing. Okay, so that we will understand in a very deeper manner once we get into this AWS. Okay, so next. So cloud computing enables you to stop thinking of your infrastructure and hardware. Sorry, still people are joining. 5 participants. Okay. So cloud computing enables you to stop thinking of your infrastructure as hardware and instead think of it as a software. So I'll tell you one simple example. So you might have heard about on-premise server, and one is AWS server. Okay. So I'll let you understand. So yesterday we had a discussion. So we try to understand what are all the problems you are facing when you're running your computer, when you're running your server on your premise. So I'll tell you, I think we can go back and we should try to understand it in a very easy manner. I'll just, because this is very important, you need to understand. So how to share this? Okay, guys, now are you able to see a notepad?
Yes, sir.
So now I'll tell you two concepts. These are very important. Okay. So I'll say on-premise server. Okay. Second one, I'll say cloud server. Okay. So this is very important thing you need to understand before going into deeper. So on-premise server is nothing but the server which you are able to see in your college premise, right? So yesterday we had discussion. So for example, if you are maintaining your server on your own, okay, I have my own server, I will be maintaining my own server. So let us see what are all the responsibilities you will be having. So first thing is need physical space, correct? So you need some physical space for installation of your server, right? So then you need to have proper infrastructure. You need to have proper infrastructure for handling the server. I think this is creating some mess today. I don't know why. Okay. So you need to provide proper infrastructure. It is in case of on-premise. That means if you are maintaining your server on yourself. So remember this. This is very important. So basically the question they'll be asking in the most of the interviews. So if you are maintaining a server on-premise by yourself, what are the challenges? So if you are putting your if you are maintaining a server on cloud, that means for example AWS, so what are the advantages. So this is the main question people will ask you. So then you need to answer with so many points. So as you know, if you're maintaining a server on yourself, so you need to have physical space for installation, provide a proper infrastructure, and you should provide uninterrupted power supply, and you need to have good internet connectivity, right? So you need to have what we say next. You need to buy licenses, right? So you need to have a good networking between your server and clients. Then you need
Administrator,
to, sorry, Amma.
administrator, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. You need to have strong security. You uh, need to have an administrator, right? So the list is very big. So the thing is, when you are when this question is being asked in your interview, you can just take 2 or 3 points and you can explain them. So these are all challenges which we have to face when you are maintaining our server on premise. Okay. So now I'll say if you are buying one server from AWS. Okay, so this we can say it as, we don't call it as on premise, so we call it as cloud. Okay. Okay, so basically the cloud might be private or public or hybrid, whichever is suitable for you. So you can buy that particular cloud. So here you can see zero physical space, right? So zero physical space, because all your responsibility of handling your server is taken care by AWS. So here we'll say zero infrastructure, right? So we needn't worry about any infrastructure here. Right? So again, if I say UPS, no power problem, no power problems, and no internet connectivity, no licenses, no networking, no security, and no administrator. And also there is one more thing I forgot, that from natural calamities, right? There is severe rainfall or severe earthquake, then your server will not function properly. But when you are working on this AWS cloud, zero threat from natural calamities. So one more thing, so basically in maintaining on-premise service, so basically, as you know, all this website need to be running 24 by 7. As you know, for example, if you are using this Facebook website, or if you are using a WhatsApp website, so as you know, this is this can be accessed to 24 by 7, morning, night, anytime you open, it will be working. So basically, we generally call it as uptime. That means your server need to be available all the time. So even if at night 1 o'clock, if the client wants to access your data, server need to be willing to send the data on time. So that is very, very important when you are working with a server. So that means we need 24 by 7 of uptime. So the problem with this on-premise server is, so there might be chances that sometimes you will be facing some interruption. Right? So basically, so this uptime is very, very changes with time and parameters. There are so many parameters we can't predict. If there are more rains, if there are more winds, so that time what happens is uh, the speed of your internet will be fluctuating, right? So that time your users will be facing so many problems, right? So that here you can see if you are putting the same thing on AWS, okay, so here they are giving you 99.9% uptime, okay. So what the if you are buying one server from AWS, so AWS is providing you 99.9% uptime. So that means only 0.01% downtime. So this nobody can give you 100% time, because there are so many things. For example, if there is an earthquake, so nobody can help. If you're for example, we call it as a data center, okay. So data center is the place where thousands of servers are connected together to work as one single strong computer, okay. For example, this data center is a place where your servers will be kept, okay. So I think in the previous presentation slide you have seen there is some picture of racks. In those racks all your servers will be placed, okay. So that we'll discuss. There is again a topic on data center, we'll discuss that in deeply. Now just assume that a data center is a place where thousands of servers will be connected together, okay. So for example, if data center crashes, then all your data will be lost, right? So it is not that it is in a human's hand to control this. So in some cases humans cannot be blamed for responsibility, right? So in that cases for data center crashes, so that time there is a possibility like you will be losing your data. So that is why they are telling that we will provide you only 99.9% uptime. So 0.01%. So why the downtime is, some are not, basically nature, or we can say earthquakes, or for example tsunami. So nobody can stop this. So in that time your uptime may be changing, right? So that is the reason. So they are not giving you 99.9 100% uptime. So basically what they says, Amazon will says 99.9% SLA. So remember this point, SLA. So SLA stands for service level agreement, right? So whenever you are opting for AWS services, so AWS will give you 99% SLA. So a service level agreement of 99.9% uptime. So as you know, why not 100%? So there are some natural calamities where we can't control them, right? So in that cases, you might be losing your data, right? So at least you are having this 99.9% SLA. But whereas if you are working on this on-premise servers, if you are putting you are trying to handle your own server, that is very challenging thing. There are so many parameters you need to be taking care of, right? So now you think you might have some better foundation and better understanding. So what is the problem if you maintain on yourself? So if you are maintaining our server our by ourselves, so that we call it as on-premise server, right? So similarly, if you are putting your server on, if you are taking your server or any type of services from AWS, so these are all the advantages over on-premise server, okay. So this is also one of the most important question in the interviews. So they might be asking, so difference between this on-premise server and cloud server, okay. So as you can in this way you can create a number of advantages over on-premise server, okay. So you can select one individual topic and you can explain them. So for example, simply tell you security is cannot be provided, some antivirus threats will be there, hackers will be there, so very difficult to handle your data. Whereas if you are putting this AWS, So all the security will be provided by that, and there is no problem with hackers or spam or anything. So that like you can build some story, and you can generate a very good answer with the interview. Okay. So this is also one of the important topic. I hope you guys are making notes. Okay. So difference between on-premise and cloud server. Okay. So this is very important question. Moving forward, any doubts in this? Please let me know if you're having any doubts or any point where you are not getting it. No doubts?
Sir.
Yeah. In doubt Namma?
No, sir.
Okay. Thanks. So I think if you are unable to speak, you can just put a chat message here, Amma. Okay. You can just put some chat message here so that I can get it. Okay. So guys who are unable to speak, you can just put a chat message whenever I'm asking a question. You can just put a message in the chat. Okay. So moving forward. Okay, are you guys able to see the presentation screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So cloud computing enables you to stop thinking of your infrastructure as a hardware and instead think of it. So someone is not able to hear. Who is this? Yes, who is 1A4343? May I know your problem? What is your problem? Guys, please respond. If you tell me a problem, then only I can address it, right? Fixed. What is the problem? Let me know.
సార్ స్లైడ్ లో ఉన్న మ్యాటర్ క్లియర్ గా కనిపించట్లేదు సార్.
అవునా? ఓకే. ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ చేస్తాను.
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే అమ్మా, ఇప్పుడు
ఓకే సార్.
క్లియరా? Okay,
Yes, sir.
right. So basically what has happened is when people are working on this on-premise servers, so people were having so many challenges. 50% of the time they was going to only maintain their servers. So in that case, what has happened is, so when you are adapting to the cloud technology, so what this cloud, for example, if you are adapting to AWS, so what AWS will tell you is, please stop worrying about your networks and server issues. So they will take the complete responsibility of handling your servers. So when you are 50%, when your 50% of your job is maintained by AWS, so you will have only one single task, like writing your code or deploying your code. So what you can do is you can shift your focus, because half of the problems of maintaining your servers have been addressed by AWS, right? So in that way, what you can do is you can reduce your stress, and you can just think about only about the software and everything regarding your hardware. For example, if you need 100 servers, so AWS will be ready to provide you 100 servers. For example, I will say in the peak time, we were discussing about Flipkart yesterday. For example, on Big Billion Day, for example, Big Billion Day is there. On that particular day, you need 100 servers. So what happens is AWS is ready to provide you the number of servers. I will tell you one very, very good example for this. So I think everybody is aware of IPL. So everybody is using IPL, right? So everybody is watching IPL. So what happens, for example, if one CSK match is happening, Chennai Super Kings match is happening, and I think when you're streaming through this mobile application, you can see on the top of the screen like how many people are watching the match. So as you can see, this the value will be changing continuously. Sometimes only some 10 lakhs people will be watching, and suddenly there will be people more than 1 crore will be watching. As you can see, immense computing power you need, right? So for example, handling this, for example, I will say in a very worst scenario we will be taking, one server can maintain 1 lakh viewers. For example, I'll say one server can handle 1 lakh viewers. For example, in the initial stages of the match, for example, first 10 hours of the match, hardly 30 to 40 lakhs people will be watching the match. So that case, you'll be needing just 30 to 40 servers will be doing the job very well. And suddenly if you see, for example, last 5 hours, so from the over 15 to 20 hours, more than 1 crore people will be adding. So that will happen in a matter of minutes, right? So up to first 10 hours, the people were watching only less, 30 lakhs people were watching. Suddenly, from 15th over to 20th over, suddenly 1 crore people will be coming by. That means you need to instantly add. So you need to instantly add 70 to 80 servers to your project, right? So as you can see, instantly who will be able to add 70 to 80 servers instantly, right? Just try to understand the scenario when you are maintaining the server on premises లో ఒకటేసారి 70-80 servers add చేయాలి. So as you know, installing one server itself will take 5 to 6 days, and instantly within few minutes, as you can see, 15th to 20th over, hardly it will be taking just a matter of time, half an hour, 15 minutes. 15 minutes ki you need 70 to 80 servers. So building the 70 to 80 servers is very, very tough job, but it is happening. So why? Because cloud service providers, for example, this AWS, if for example, if we consider this AWS is handling this, so AWS has this capacity to increase as well as decrease your servers in a matter of seconds. So this is the strength of AWS. Even for example, if you say, sir, for example, 9:10 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. So in the matter of 20 minutes, I will be needing 200 servers. So AWS will say, okay, I will give you, right? So this, as I already discussed, it is on demand service. You can go to AWS and you can demand, sir, I need 80 servers on this time. So AWS will be ready to provide you, right? So in this case, what you need to understand, the main part of it is, stop thinking of your infrastructure as a hardware. Instead, think of it as a software. Just you write your program and execute your program. As you know, this IPL match live program is happening. Hardly there is will be only one or two softwares working. So whole concentration will be kept on the software. The hardware part, which is the backend, will be taken complete responsibility by AWS. Okay. So just for making you understand the scenario, I have told it. The strength of cloud computing, right? So moving forward, right. So this, I think we have already discussed. Just before coming to this, we have discussed. So hardware solutions are physical. This means they require space. I think we already noted these points. So we need space for maintaining our on-premise server. Similarly, we need staff, as we have already discussed. We need one administrator. So similarly, we have understood that we need physical security. So that means your servers need to be placed on one isolated place. That means it should have limited access. Only limited people need to be will be able to access this, and the threat from rain, wind need to be taken care of. Similarly, planning. So we can't keep our server anywhere we want. So there will be some proper arrangements which need to be taken care of. Similarly, capital expenditure. This capital expenditure we have already discussed. Yeah, guys, I'm here. Are you able to see the screen?
No, sir.
స్క్రీన్ రావట్లేదా?
వస్తుంది సార్.
వస్తుంది సార్ బిఫోర్ క్లౌడ్ కంప్యూటింగ్.
ఓకే ఓకే. సో ఈ పేజ్ ఉంది కదా, హార్డ్వేర్ సొల్యూషన్ ఆర్ ఫిజికల్, సేమ్ పేజా?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ఓకే.
సార్
యా.
మా ఫ్రెండ్స్ జాయిన్ అవ్వడానికి వెయిట్ చేస్తున్నారు సార్.
అవునా, వాళ్ళందరూ మధ్యలో వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారా వీళ్ళు?
అంటే అనుకోకుండా కట్ అయిపోయింది.
రిక్వెస్ట్ లేదమ్మా, నాకు రిక్వెస్ట్ లేదు. మళ్ళీ
నెట్వర్క్ ఇష్యూ వల్ల కట్ అవుతుంది సార్.
ఓకే ఓకే, ఒక్కసారి మళ్ళీ రిక్వెస్ట్ చేయమనరా.
ఓకే సార్.
ఒక్కరే ఉన్నారు, 4319. ఓకే, ఒక్కరే ఉన్నారు.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
So coming back, so మనం on premise లో if we are maintaining our server, so we need to take care of these things: space, staff, physical security, planning, and capital expenditure. So this we have already discussed. Similarly, guess at the theoretical maximum peaks. So this also just now have given you an example. Consider the example of IPL. So మీరు ఎక్కడైనా ఇంటర్వ్యూకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు కూడా you can take this IPL example. You can elaborate and you can please can you mute yourself? Who is this Dolly Narkid Mali? Can you please mute? Okay. So this IPL example is the best suitable example when you're facing interviews. Okay. So you can just explain them the immense capacity or immense power of the cloud. So best example ఏంటి అంటే you can just make them in a very very common conversation laga you can tell them. For example, when Dhoni is coming for the batting. So whenever Dhoni comes for batting, you can see automatically the number of viewers will increase rapidly. Sudden ga, if at all 50 lakh people were watching the match, immediately when Dhoni comes to for the batting, automatically the viewership will increase and up to in the 50 lakh number will increase to 1 crore. So that time it's the responsibility. When you are having the peak requirement, so that should happen in a very very smooth manner. Even 50 lakh people are coming and want to watch the match, so the server need to provide them the access, right? So ఏంటి అంటే even the fluctuation is huge. So huge fluctuation uన్నా కూడా the servers need to be accepting to take the challenge. So this example will work well at any situation. So ఈ మ్యాచ్ ఇది IPL మ్యాచ్ అని చెప్పొచ్చు, or else వరల్డ్ కప్ మ్యాచ్ చెప్పొచ్చు, or else ఫుట్బాల్ మ్యాచ్ చెప్పొచ్చు, or else sometimes you can say this Elon Musk when he's launching something, so that will happen through a live session. So our time now we can take one scenario where the computing power need to be very very high. అందుకే IPL ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకున్నాను. IPL ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏంటి అంటే ఎట్ ఏ టైమ్ 1 crore పీపుల్ వస్తారు. సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 20th ఓవర్ లో 1 crore పీపుల్ ఆర్ వాచింగ్. Once the match completes, immediately the viewers will fall less than 10 lakhs. 90 lakhs people will leave the match. సో అప్పుడు ఏంటి, మళ్ళీ సర్వర్ అనేది మళ్ళీ ఆటో స్కేల్ డౌన్ అయిపోవాలి. సో ఆల్ అన్నెసెసరీ సర్వర్స్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ if you are utilizing 100 servers for the 20th over, so immediate గా 20th over కంప్లీట్ అవ్వగానే what happens is you need to turn off all your servers, excess servers. 10 lakh ఇప్పుడు 1 crore నుంచి 10 lakhs కి వచ్చేస్తారు యూజర్స్. సో అప్పుడు మీకు 100 సర్వర్స్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఉండదు. సో జస్ట్ 10 servers can manage your 10 lakh people. So remaining 90 servers are running without any use. So ఇప్పుడు 90 servers మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి అంటే you just calculate the amount of electricity, the amount of networking and amount of uptime. సో ఇవన్నీ చాలా పారామీటర్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో మనం ఏంటి అంటే విత్ ఇన్ మినిట్స్, విత్ ఇన్ సెకండ్స్ లో మనం దీన్ని యాడ్ చేయగలగాలి. విత్ ఇన్ మినిట్స్ మనం వి నీడ్ టు స్కేల్ ఇట్ డౌన్. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ వేర్ దిస్ DevOps బికేమ్ వెరీ వెరీ పాపులర్ నవడేస్. సో డెవాప్స్ చేసే వాళ్ళు ఏంటి అంటే దే షుడ్ హ్యావ్ వెరీ వెరీ మినిమల్ టైం ఫర్ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్. సో అది ఎలా మేనేజ్ చేస్తారు, దట్ యూ నీడ్ టు ఏబుల్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్. సో అందుకే వాళ్ళు ఏం చెప్తున్నారు, సో వాట్ ఇఫ్ యువర్ నీడ్ చేంజ్, సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు గో త్రూ టైమ్, ఎఫర్ట్ అండ్ కాస్ట్. ఇది మనం ఆన్ ప్రెమిసెస్ లో చేయాలి అంటే ఇట్స్ వెరీ 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 ఛాలెంజింగ్ జాబ్. సో రిలయింగ్ ఆన్ సమ్ సర్వీస్ ప్రొవైడర్, సో వీఆర్ కాలింగ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ క్లౌడ్ సర్వీస్ ప్రొవైడర్స్ అంటున్నాం కదా. సో క్లౌడ్ సర్వీస్ ప్రొవైడర్స్ లైక్ అమెజాన్ ఆర్ గూగుల్ క్లౌడ్ ఆర్ అజ్యూర్. సో వీళ్ళ నుంచి మనం హెల్ప్ తీసుకొని we can make the user experience in a very very cool manner. Okay. So software is flexible. If your needs change, your software can change much more quickly, easily, and cost effectively than your hardware. If software, I think this is very simple statement. Everybody can get it. So software lo errors unnayఅనుకోండి, you can change an error within seconds. But whereas if there is an error with your hardware, finding the problem and diagnosing the problem and rectifying the problem is a huge thing. సో అందుకే ఏం చెప్తున్నారంటే క్లౌడ్ సర్వీస్ ప్రొవైడర్స్ అందరూ ఏం చెప్తున్నారంటే యూ ఫోకస్ మేజర్లీ ఆన్ యువర్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ డెవలప్మెంట్. Rest hardware related thing you just leave it to us. So hardware related, networking related ఏదున్నా కూడా forget about it. So we will take care, right? So that is how business is happening. So మీరు సాఫ్ట్వేర్ డెవలప్మెంట్ పైన ఫోకస్ చేయండి, ఆల్ యువర్ హార్డ్వేర్ రిలేటెడ్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ we will handle అని వీళ్ళు అష్యూరెన్స్ ఇస్తున్నారు. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ దే ఆర్ టెలింగ్ 99.9% అప్ టైం మేము ఇస్తాము, రైట్? So this we have already discussed. Discussed infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So we try to understand this concept with some good examples also. So Mali this also we have tried to understand. So all in cloud, hybrid, and private. So these three also we try to understand: public, private, and hybrid. We try to understand this. So this also we have been discussing from the morning. So this is very important. So the question will be like, what is the difference if you are maintaining your projects on cloud, and what are the challenges if you are maintaining it on premises? Please kindly, I think you can make notes on this. So indaka enti ante we try to understand in our local language and with our local terms, right? So this is somewhat technical. So technical standards untai kada, as per the standards. So this we have to take care of, right? So as you can see, all in the cloud. For example, if you are putting your project on AWS, so no upfront investment. No upfront investment ante we are not buying any servers. We are taking all our servers or services for lease. Lease తీసుకుంటున్నాం అంతే. That means you are not really buying a server. Similarly, what is saying, low ongoing costs. As you know, there is no UPS, there is no internet connectivity problems, there is no licenses you are buying, there are no administrators to look after, and you are not buying any antivirus softwares. So everything is less. So this all you can reduce your cost. So that is why your cost will be very less. And focus on innovation. So simply you can just change this term as focus on the software development, right? Focus on software development. Just you need to worry about your software development only. Rest you can leave for regarding this hardware and hardware solution, you can leave, right? And next comes flexible capacity. So just now we were discussing about this what we call IPL match. Flexible capacity. Suddenly 10 lakhs people will be there, and suddenly the number will increase to 1 crore people. So how will you handle this capacity? So that is very easy by using AWS. Suddenly this 1 crore people will get reduced to 10 lakh people. So you need to remove your excess servers. So basically we call it as scale up and scale down. Scale up means increasing your number of servers and capacity. Similarly, scale down stands for removing your excess server and removing the excess capacity. And the speed and agility, this is very important, right? Because as we are talking about huge number of capacity, here I am telling suddenly 10 lakh to 1 crore people. That means I'm adding another 100 servers extra. So adding 100 servers, and if you are doing this manually, connecting one server together, connecting one server together, ala manam oka 100 servers if you are trying to connect, it will take at least 1 week of time. But enti ante when you are doing it on cloud, it is just a matter of minutes and seconds. So adi manaki ekkada మీకు exact ga we will try to do a practical on this also. You'll be able to understand in a very very perfect way, where this people might have heard about the concept called DevOps. So DevOps concept ikkada DevOps main concept enti ante to reduce the speed, reduce the time of deploying your project and as fast ga manam deploy cheyagalagali. So instantly reduce the time of deployment. So adi manam ela manam catch up chestam. So that also I think for us our practical is there. When you do that practical, you'll understand in a very very easier manner. Automatically you will try to correlate, okay ide nenu if you are trying to do this on my on premises, నా లోకల్ సర్వర్ లో చేస్తే ఎంత ఛాలెంజింగ్ గా ఉండేది, అండ్ సేమ్ థింగ్ ఇఫ్ ఐ హావ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటెడ్ ఆన్ క్లౌడ్ ఎంత ఈజీగా వర్క్ అయింది. సో దట్ యూ కెన్ ప్రాక్టికలీ అండర్స్టాండ్ వైల్ వర్కింగ్ ఆన్ దిస్ AWS. So global reach on demand. So global reach on demand also we are very very aware of. So this cloud works on WWW. So that means GAN, geographical area network. So whatever you put the data, that will be accessible throughout the globe. So in the first session of our class also we have tried to understand this only. Okay, so then very very important is on premises. మనం ఆన్ ప్రెమిసెస్ లో ఇవి ఛాలెంజెస్ ఏమేమి ఉంటాయి? సో వాట్ ఆర్ ద ఛాలెంజెస్ ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ మెయింటైనింగ్ యువర్ సర్వర్స్ బై యువర్ సెల్ఫ్? మన ఓన్ గా మనం సర్వర్ ని హ్యాండిల్ చేస్తే ఛాలెంజెస్ ఏంటి? So large initial purchase. So large initial purchase means as you know, so buying one server equal to 1 lakh. So if you are having 100 lakhs, so if you want to maintain 100 servers, so అప్పుడు ఏంటి ప్రాబ్లం? You need to invest 1 crore rupees. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తున్నారు? whereas in all in cloud లో ఏంటి అంటే zero upfront cost. That means just you need to purchase one AWS account. So you are not really buying any server. So you are just paying the rent. Ante. I think everybody is very very familiar with this rent concept. So simple ga I think everybody is aware of this Ola, Uber, or what we can say, these kind of services. You are not really buying a car. So what happens is you are just utilizing the car whenever you have a need. For example, if you want to travel from Hyderabad to Vijayawada, so you want to travel by car. So what you need is, you don't really buy a car, you take a car for lease. So the car will come, it will pick you up and it will drop you at the destination. So you are never owning a car or never purchasing a car. So same concept is applicable with cloud computing also. So remember this, your upfront cost, that is the reason it is very less. Why? Because you are never buying the server. Okay, so labor, patches and upgrade cycles, zero. So even for example, if you for example on your on-premise server you have installed Windows 10, or else I'll say Windows 7, suddenly what happens? They have bought one update. So they have bought one update of Windows 10. So what you need to do? You need to upgrade your version from Windows 7 to Windows 10. So again, that is a big task for you. So for example, if you are having only one server, it's fine. In 1 hour or 2 hours, you can complete the job. For example, if you are having 100 servers, then it will take few days to complete the task. But when you are having the same thing on cloud, this will be completely zero. So why it is zero ante? Because Amazon will take the responsibility of your labor, of your patches and upgrade cycle. So ilantivi ఏది కూడా మీకు challenges there won't be giving for you, right? So system administration, as we have already discussed, మనకు ఒక అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటర్ కావాలి. ఇక్కడ ఒక 100 సర్వర్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో 100 సర్వర్స్ లో we need one administrator who will be looking after your service all the time. సో మనకి ఇక్కడ ఏంటి, సో సర్వర్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ is not required in case of AWS క్లౌడ్, మనం క్లౌడ్ లో తీసుకుంటే. అండ్ ఫిక్స్డ్ కెపాసిటీ. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటి అంటే మన దగ్గర 100 సర్వర్స్ ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, we can use only 100 సర్వర్స్. For example, if the need is more, we can't increase the size. For example, I will say, if you are buying one 100cc bike, so 100cc bike will run as 100cc only. So it can't run like a 250cc or a 1000cc bike. It will never become a bigger bike. So 100cc is always a 100cc only. So similarly, if you are maintaining your on-premise, it is just 100cc bike is equal to 100cc bike. Whereas if you are doing the same task on cloud, if you can change your bike. For example, if you want 100cc, you can get an 100cc bike. So if you are want one 1000cc bike, you can take a 1000cc bike. So same the rental concept. For example, you can take Uber again. So Uber, what is happening? For example, if you want to take a smaller car, you can go in Indica car. So whereas if you want one Innova, you can get an Innova. So we are not exactly buying the car, you're just using the car whenever you need it, right? So here, for example, if you're buying one Indica car, so it will only stay for you. You can't make one Indica car as an Innova car, right? So that is an example. You can put it in your put it while presenting this to your interviewer. So similarly, long procurement cycle and setup, as this thing I think we have already discussed. So establishing one single server will take a very, very long time, right? So this need to be addressed. Whereas as you can see, the speed and agility in terms of AWS is within minutes and seconds. For this, you can take the best example as IPL. So IPL, when match is happening, if we can engage 100 servers at a time, and we can disengage 100 servers at a time. We can auto scale, or we can auto scale down, auto scale up or auto scale down. So sorry, we can't say auto. Scaling up or scaling down is very easy in terms of speed and agility from cloud. Whereas here it is a very, very long procurement cycle process. So limited geographical regions. So here, as you know, for example, if you are maintaining this your own servers, there are so many parameters which will be limiting to this. So here, what you will do, for example, you will buy your procure your local internet, right? So for example, in Hyderabad, we procured this internet from Active Fiber. So some people will procure from BSNL, right? So that means these people are third party people, right? So whereas these people, this coverage will be very, very little. For example, if you are having two on premises, for example, one you have located in Hyderabad, and one you might be placing your server in Delhi. So what happens is, in Hyderabad, the service provider is different, the internet service provider is different, right? So whereas in Delhi, the service provider is different. So you can't find active fiber in Delhi. So that will become a problem with your network issues. So that means the internet service providers will also have some limitations. Whereas your AWS cloud is completely global. So you can have access to the global audience, right? So there will be no disturbance with the AWS. Okay. So this you need to have a clear picture in your head when you are working on AWS. Okay. So this will help you a lot in understanding our AWS better. Okay. So this should be printed in your head and you need to able to get it, right? So I think we shall take some break.